park for a public health emergency. Details about the public health emergency can actually be referred to the Department of Public Health and Environment. During that time, I would say even before then, we gave 24-hour notice to all the residents at the Denver Veterans Park that we would be cleaning this up. And at 6 a.m., we executed that cleanup. We had a lot of compliance. A lot of people complied with this order and have been utilizing the services that we are providing. During this time, we had buses that would offer shelters. We had mental health workers and a myriad of other services that are offered to our people experiencing homelessness and the people experiencing staying at the Veterans Park. It's unfortunate that I have to say that during the cleanup, however, we had protesters as well as some homeless advocates come to the scene and interrupt the cleanup. During that interruption, we had the homeless advocates block a gate that was the gate where personnel from our different departments could provide those services as well as start to do the cleanup. It is also important to note that during a cleanup like this is not a police function. The police are there for security and safety of the personnel that are on site. And so when the police had to activate and get involved with the situation, it was only when the advocates and the agitators that were called to the scene after the cleanup commenced started to stop the progress of the cleanup itself. When the police started to make sure they were protecting the safety of the employees that were commencing the cleanup, a myriad of people blocked the entrance gate that was erected for the cleanup. They then tried to clear that entrance gate, and unfortunately, one of our well-known school board directors was in the midst of that large group of people that were not obeying the lawful order of please move from the gate so that it could be shut. During that time, Mr. Tay Anderson he fell. It is unclear so far that if in this large group of people, if he was indeed shoved by a police officer, that is under investigation. I will assure you today that if there was an improper use of force, that will be handled and that person will be held accountable. However, it's also important to note that a lawful order was given that we needed to move from the gate, and we needed the people that were on site to allow for the other departments who were not the police to continue to commence in the cleanup. This was a clear interruption to the efforts that our departments were trying to do to not only keep our community members safe, but also making sure that they had access to the various services that we provide by the city and county of Denver. It also is a distraction. The very fact that we are distracting from the real issue of the health concerns, the real issue of the things that were happening at Veterans Park is not being able to be talked about today because of the fact that we had these agitators and seem to be advocates advocating for something I don't believe they were completely educated on when it comes to the homelessness issue in the city and county of Denver. With that said, I'm sorry that I want to say to Tay Anderson, who I talk to all the time, I'm sorry that this happened to you. I'm sorry that you fell. I hope that you are okay. I hope that Tay will heal from whatever wounds he got today. But I also implore all those on the front lines of such things as cleanups or protests that it is important that you follow lawful orders by the police. It's also important that we give the situation attention of homelessness and the homeless camps issue that we have here in Denver today. I have heard loud and clear from our community, hundreds, if not thousands of calls in the last few weeks, that the situation that we are experiencing today with homeless camps cannot stand in Denver. They are unsafe. They are unhealthy. and we have to do something different. We have been to date following the guidance of the CDC. Under the direction of the federal government and that federal leadership, we have not interrupted homeless camps to this date. I, along with other members of the leadership team, have made the decision that the health of our residents, the health of the people in County of Denver, in the County of Denver, exceeds that of the guidance of the CDC. So you are now seeing us clean up homeless sites and offering the services to the city and county of Denver residents that are experiencing this and that are parking in these camps. And so with that, I'm going to take any questions that you may have.
This is Mark South. My question, if you can hear me, is what changed within the last week that now you feel like it is necessary to sweep these camps, even with the CDC guidance going against that? What has changed?
Absolutely great question, Mark. The first thing is I should point you in the direction of DDPHE for a full understanding of the health orders that they have put in place for this camp specifically. But we have seen COVID numbers go up in this camp, which Denver Health and DDPHE can help you understand those numbers. But COVID numbers have gone up, as well as you know, crime has gone up in the camp, specifically violent crime. And that's where I have concerns on the public safety side of things. I would also, go ahead. I think I had another question.
I'll go ahead and ask another if I can. Were there any arrests that were made today?
Yes, two arrests were made.
If anyone has questions and they're calling in on the phone, dial *6.
While we're waiting on additional questions, go ahead.
Oh, hey, yeah, this is Connor from Westward. So I guess the other big encampment kind of in that neighborhood is around Maury Middle School. I'm curious to know if there's a plan to disperse that encampment and when we can expect that to happen. Thanks.
Sure. We are currently meeting on that and plan on dispersing that camp soon. Yes. We plan on looking at Maury as well as all the other camps in the city and making sure that the people at those camps have services to be provided to them and they have a place to go.
Hey, Murphy, this is Conrad over at the Denver Post. I was curious if you could let us know what the involvement of the Colorado State Patrol was, when that coordination kind of began and what the purpose was behind it. And then another question is, with the Anderson incident, do you know if there's any body camera footage available and if that'll be made public?
Sure, I'll take the first question first, Connor. Thank you for them all. First off, yes, we have been coordinating. I personally have coordinated with the Colorado State Patrol for weeks on this very issue. I know the Denver Police Department talks to them daily about what they're seeing. And so to say that there is one time where there was a coordinated approach, that is not the case. We are constant coordination with the Colorado State Patrol. And I know that your next question to me will be about the delegation of authority. That delegation of authority simply is a second set of tools for the Colorado State Patrol, but is not inclusive and is not the reason for this cleanup. It's important to note that this was done in conjunction with the Colorado State Patrol because this is indeed a state park, but it's also important to note that the health and wellness of our residents, especially those experiencing homelessness in this site, was our top priority here.
Thanks, Murphy. And can you clarify on the body camera footage as well?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. There's an investigation that will be had for the Tay Anderson incident. And that body cam footage will be made available as soon as possible. I am asking and encouraging the Denver Police Department to, as soon as they can, make that available.
Hi, Murphy.
I will also say that I believe I am going to authorize the release of the Halo footage immediately following this press avail, and so you will have Halo footage of this incident as soon as possible.
Hi, this is Esteban Hernandez with Denver 8. Can you just describe more details about the two arrests that were made today? What were the charges?
I don't have that information. If you can reach out to the Denver Police Department after this call, they have that information on the charges. Other questions?
Yeah, hey, this is Connor from, oh, go ahead. Sounds like someone who hasn't gone yet. Oh, okay.
One quick question. This new cleanup comes after Governor Polis said he would welcome the clean out of that encampment and others. Can you tell me whether there's any connection between the sudden decision to clean up this encampment and Polis's remarks?
No, while I appreciate the governor's support in this, and he, I think, now understands the veracity and the complexity of the homelessness issue on the local level, this conversation has been happening for weeks. Every time we monitor and see what's happening in this specific camp, we weigh the options, and it is time to clean up this camp due to the public health issues that we saw there, but also the safety issues that we saw there.
Hey, this is Connor from Westward again. So the mayor's office has been talking about some non-homeless individuals staying at the encampment. Can you kind of expand on that a bit?
Yeah, I absolutely can. As you all know, we're dealing with three global crises at the same time. Not only COVID-19, but also the civil unrest and what started with the George Floyd protests and the dismay for police, as well as a fiscal crisis. And all three of those things are leading to different types of issues that deal with the overall homeless population. A lot of the people that we have dealt with and are seeing are indeed homeless and do need services. There are some, however, that are embedding themselves in this population that are not there to receive services and have a different political agenda. It is important to note that we offer all people, whether you're there for a political agenda or you're there for the fact that you are actually homeless, we offer all people the services to be housed, and we also offer them the services that we have through the Denver Human Services Department and host. And so note that we don't differentiate, but we have seen the diversity of people in these encampments. Esteban, I believe you had a question.
It was about the arrest. You told me to go to the.
Okay, excellent. Other questions?
Can I just? Yeah, hey, it's Connor again. Can I just follow up on that? I mean, different political agenda. Can you kind of just be a bit more specific, please, about what exactly you mean by that?
I can't, because I think the different types of behaviors that are exhibited throughout some of the things like you saw today shows that it's not just people who are living there because they're experiencing homelessness. There are a myriad of folks out there who are there for other reasons other than being homeless. And so I would suggest talking to them. But I can't expand on why people choose to do these type of things. But what I can say is that given what we're dealt with in the city with COVID-19, with all the other complex issues we're dealing with, it is time to start to clean up some of these sites, and we're going to do so.
This is Mark again with 9 News. I know that you said that there were buses, and it's our understanding that they took those residents who chose to get on those buses to the National Western Complex. Is that correct? And if so, has the outdoor camping area at the Western Complex opened yet? And if not, when will it open?
That is a great question, and it's the one I don't have the answer to. I'm not sure when the outdoor space is going to open. I think that's the question for host. However, I will say that I know that the buses were running all day yesterday and all day today, so that people had the opportunity to utilize that service should they want to be housed. And so know that that is a constant service that we offer whenever we are posting in or talking about a cleanup. Last question.
Do you know how many people took advantage of those bus rides?
That is a great question. I am not sure how many people, but we can follow up with you on that. I'll give y'all one more question. Any other questions? Well, I'll close with this. We are in a trying time, and it's important to note that we in the city and county of Denver love our residents. We love our city, as I know all of you do. We have to do better in working together to make sure all the people in our city have the services and have the opportunity to succeed. Living outdoors is not the answer. Living outdoors is not something that we want for our residents, for our neighbors, our fellow citizens. And so I encourage those people who are experiencing homelessness to utilize the services that we have. I also encourage folks, whether you are an elected official, you're a city employee, or you're just a citizen, to understand that our police officers, our law enforcement officers, our social health care workers are living in a precarious position at this time. Their job is not popular. However, it's necessary and it's needed. I ask you to give them grace, but I also ask you to comply with lawful orders. It'll help us, it'll help our citizens, it'll help all of us get to the place where we can change things systematically for the better, but also not concentrate on the political rhetoric of the day. I appreciate everyone who has given me the opportunity to understand how we can improve public safety in the city and county of Denver. But to capitalize on political opportunities for a moment, instead of understanding how we can change things for a lifetime, is very ill-informed. And so I would ask us to come together, figure out how we can move forward together, but also understand that our police officers, our law enforcement officers, and the city employees that have to do these cleanups are doing so under orders of the city and doing so because this is what's best for our city. Thank you so much for your time, and we will talk soon.
Thank you.
Thanks.